Hi, I'm Haley. The parallel I'm going to discuss that is seen in both Ovid and Genesis is the element of fire and using fire to destroy the earth. That wasn't as smooth as I wanted it to sound, but basically, I was just going to start off with Genesis and how I perceived the story of Genesis. I feel like I saw more parallels between the flood myth in Genesis and this fire story in Genesis than I do in Ovid's fire story. Because in the flood myth, when he wiped out humanity because of violence and sin, he promised Noah that he wasn't gonna do this mass casualty thing again because it was horrible and destructive, because he wasn't only wiping out those who are evil, he's wiping out those who are also good. And I kind of saw it again here, where he was gonna wipe out that town or that city, Sodom, with fire. Then Abraham had to go to him and just be like, God, there's still good people here. There's still righteous people. Not everyone here is evil. They kind of rethink what you're doing here, because you're not just going to take out evil, you're going to take out the good as well. And I just thought it was a bit hypocritical to say that you're never going to do something like this again, and then do it, even if it is on a smaller scale. It's still mass casualty. But that also kind of brings me to the thought of gods and divine beings not really grasping mortality the way we do, because they're immortal while we have a set lifespan. So it's time is relative. Time is relative. For God, it doesn't register on the same wavelength as us, and the impact isn't as profound because of the long existence period, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm going for something, but I don't know if I'm executing it well. But yeah, so I just didn't see him as very compassionate, because he's doing the same thing that he said he wasn't gonna do, and he was gonna destroy everyone purposely using the element of fire. Whereas in Ovid, it was an accident basically, because Patheon had his father promise him a wish, and that wish had to be fulfilled because it was promised on I think this river Styx, if I remember correctly. And so it had to be fulfilled. It was a binding contract, wish contract. And so when Patheon wanted to drive Phoebus's chariot, Phoebus begged his son not to do it. He begged him to rethink what he wanted, because what he was asking is dangerous, and it could harm him, it could harm everyone else, and he gave him warnings and kept trying to get him to rethink it. And I saw that as very compassionate, unlike in Genesis, where he was just gonna do it until Abraham intervened. So I just thought that was a very compassionate move. And then when Patheon eventually burned down kind of the world, Phoebus took responsibility and stepped down from his position as the sun chariot god. I just thought it was interesting how he took responsibility for the destruction that his son caused, and his son's death, and the destruction on Earth, by taking a step back from that position, because he was mourning his son, and he was mourning the destruction. So he stepped away. Whereas in Genesis, I just didn't see that kind of compassion from God. So yeah, I think that's it. Thanks.